Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Four Squared episode. We got here four albums that we are going to rank one through four. So, we're going to talk a little bit about them. So, the four albums are going to be is the Vane second album, All Those Strangers, from I guess you would say about 1991. Then the next album here we have is Heavy Bones self-titled album from 1992. Then you have Alice Cooper's Trash. And then here we have Extreme's debut album, 1989. So let us jump in here. Let's do Extreme first, shall we? So what we have here, obviously, like I said, the debut. Obviously, Nuno Betancourt, a guitar hero from the 80s. You got Gary Sharon on vocals. Now, a lot of people do go to their second album as their favorite or to say that it's their best album. But I enjoy this album though. But to me, I will say it is more run of the mill, more of your standard hair metal feel than say Extreme 2 Porno Graffiti was, and certainly Three Sides to Every Story, their third album. But that doesn't take nothing away from what Nuno does on here, what Gary does on what the band does on here. And also there are very good songs here on this album. Little Girls at the beginning. I love the harmonica in this song. I think it adds so much to the depth of the song and also to Nuno and Gary. I will say because a lot of people give shit to Winger for 17 and Cherry Pie and like just and the other one Sex Child from Blue Murder. But I will say no one ever talks about Little Girls and how kind of like cringy those lyrics can be. It's a good song, but it is a little cringeworthy. One that can go right in with the other ones that I just mentioned. But you have 11 tracks on here. Wind Me Up is a fun song. Kid Ego was a music video single that did get a little bit of play time. Watching Waiting is somewhat of a ballad. It's fine, but nothing that I ever really run back to or like I'm like I have to hear again. But sometimes when it comes on, I let it play. Mother, Don't Want to Go to School Today is a fun song. Has a little bit like some people say like this is extreme, like they really show their influences of like a Van Halen, which I could totally see because like I said, Mother kind of has a little bit of a Van Halen feel to it. Teacher's Pet, same thing. And I will say like Big Boys Don't Cry is kind of a strange song. Like I wouldn't necessarily hear. I could certainly say if someone said that this was a cover like of a pop song or like a Madonna song or something, like I would totally get it, but just in the flavor of a Extreme. But it's good nonetheless. Like I still listen to it. Smoke Signals is fun. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I like this song. Now I will say near the end though is a little weak. Flesh and Blood, Rockabye Bye. I don't care for those too much. Play With Me is fine. I think that was on Bill and Ted's. Now the last I seen, I it did not certify, which is actually kind of crazy to me with like how well Extreme 2 did. The last number that I seen was like 300,000 copies, which to me just I feel like that might not have been updated for a while. So I feel like this had to have gone gold at some point in history. So I don't know. Interesting nonetheless. But there are weaknesses on here. Like I seen Guitar World rank this like number 8 in the top 20 hair metal albums of the 80s. And to me that's just absolutely crazy. Not necessarily that it's bad. Like I said, not it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but there are way better at 8 out like there's 20 more albums that are better than this album from the 80s. I don't get I don't know what Guitar Hero was, unless like they're like just saying, "Oh, all Guitar Heroes albums only, or all albums of the '80s." I don't know, but to me that's just strange. But I will say, like three of my favorite songs on here is probably "Kid Ego" is one of my favorites on here. "Mother," "Don't Want to Go to School Today," and even "Teacher's Pet" is really cool. And "Smoke Signals" and "Little Girls." I love that harmonica in that song. Absolutely makes the song a force to be reckoned with, in my opinion. So that is going to be Extreme's debut album. Just wanted to jump in here, guys. If you guys enjoy this content that we're doing here, please like the video, please share it, and then please subscribe. That helps the channel out so much, just helps everything that we're doing here. And also leave me a comment as well. Always interested to see what you guys had to say. Now let's jump right back into this video. Let's move on here and let us go to Vane, All Those Strangers, if you will. and we are going to be looking at 1991. Now, they did get dropped from Island by this point while they were writing and recording this. So this is from Davy Vane, like his store. He has copies of this, and I had to say, this album rivals No Respect, and No Respect is absolutely amazing. So yeah, I and that I'm not saying that lightly. I'm not saying that this rivals No Respect lightly at all, because but there's great shit on here. Like, this is classic Vane. Now you can argue all of Vane's catalog is is good and not really a bad album per se, and it all sounds like Vane, which I totally agree with. But like, if you want another No Respect, this is where you got to go. But as far as the tracks here, Love Drug leads off. Planets Turning is one of my favorite songs off this album. Shooting Star is fun. Too Bad, has like a groove, a mid-tempo slow groove to it. Really cool. Wake Up is like an upbeat song, really cool. The only one I don't really care for on this album, the only weak track I will say is Freak Flag. But then you got right after that is Here Comes Lonely, another one of my favorite songs on this album. Do You Sleep with Strangers? Looking Glass finishes off the album. Like, this is a good album. 11 tracks and solid, solid stuff. Like I said, it could be right up there with No Respect. Like, I could put them back to back and be like, fuck yeah, like, this is good. Like, and it does sound like 91. It does sound like something that would come out in 1991. But so did No Respect though too. It's just they go hand in hand. Like, it's it's the little brother to No Respect, and it's not giving up much ground. So, and you have to like Davy Vane's voice at the same time. You know, I just it is what it is, because like some people don't like his voice. Some people say that it gets annoying, but to me, I never had an issue with it. I can listen to Vane all day, so take that for what you will. But nonetheless, though, like, it's just a shame that this album just never got released. Now, not saying that in 1991 it would have went gold or not or platinum. I'm not really saying that, but just to not have this release is absolutely crazy. And now I know Island was having some difficulties as far as money wise, financial wise, but man, I mean, you had Anthrax on the label too, so you thought maybe they would be getting some sales there. Because now, granted, they were only gold sales as far as Anthrax goes, but I don't know. It just seems like Vane got the short end of the stick here, and that's what I say about No Respect. How did that album not get promoted a little bit better or seen? Other than maybe it was just, where do you really put Vane? They play in a lot of different subgenres of metal. They play in the glammy spot. They play in a sleazy spot. They play in a like a very vibe and atmospheric spot though too. Like, with their first two albums here, it's just this is right there with No Respect as far as the atmosphere goes. I would say No Respect probably has a little bit more atmosphere, but this is right there though, like, just a step behind, if you will. But I don't know. I like this album. This album always I loved it ever because I picked this up when I picked up Disintegrate together. And when I listened to it for the first time, I was like, "Holy shit, this is actually really, really good and crazily, if that's a word, comparable to No Respect." And I absolutely love No Respect. So that's saying something, that this is right there with it. So yeah, like I said, Plan is Turning is probably one of my favorite songs on here. Here Comes Lonely is really, really cool stuff there too. Too Bad's fun, mid-tempo deal. Love Drug is good as well, up pace opener. So you're not gonna go wrong with All Those Strangers if you like Vane. If you like Vane, yeah, please check out this album.
Hey everybody, my name is Lorraine Lewis from Femme Fatale, and you are watching the Crash Course Metal Show.
So coming up next, let us move to Heavy Bones. I guess we can talk about Heavy Bones. Mr. Joel Ellis is Heavy Bones, obviously coming from Cats and Boots. Now, previously, hair band Basement Brian, we did a four squared with Cats and Boots, and I will put the link to that right here. But I'm gonna talk about Heavy Bones today, and I think this is where Joel Ellis shines compared to Cats and Boots. Not saying that Joel Ellis didn't sound great on the Cats and Boots album, Kicked and Clawed, but I think musically, vocally, lyrically, everything came together here on this album. Now, obviously, you do have Frankie Banelli as well from Quiet Riot, the drummer, and he's on this album, and thunderous drums throughout this whole album. And then you also had Gary Hoey on guitar, who is kind of a superhero in his own, or a guitar hero, not necessarily a superhero. If he was, that'd be pretty cool, but a guitar hero in his own right. And you had Rex, which I'm not sure what he does, what he does after. I don't know if he kind of fell off the face of the earth, but he does good on this album. So if a little bit of a mini super group, if you will, I'll go that far. But you had the singles on here, 4 a.m. TM. They had a music video for that. Great song. I just heavy. Like that's what's good about this album because you get a variety of things, yeah, of sounds. You have heavy stuff like The Hand That Feeds, 4 a.m. You also have like Light of Day, and then Where the Living is Easy. Like those are pretty heavy songs, and then you also have some ballads on here that are absolutely great. Turn It On is a top 20 hair metal ballad for me. I remember when I first listened to this album, or sorry, when I first heard singles off of this album because I was in high school and I heard 4 a.m. I remember the music video. And also I found Turn It On, which is one of the ballads here. And that song always stuck with me because I never found a physical copy until like 10 years later or so. And like I never really listened to the album because I didn't have it. So, but those two songs, and certainly, like I said, Turn It On is one of the best ballads you will ever hear. I love it. Joel's emotion in it is amazing. It's just great lyrically as well. Great solo. It's amazing to me how this did not get bigger, other than the fact that it was 1992. Which that all said and done, it don't matter who you have in the band, it's not going to sell. It's just not. Um, and then the other ballad here, "Beating Heart." Very good. I mean, not a top 20 ballad good, but it's good. And when it comes on, I'm like, okay, I can get into this. Like, this is good. It's not gonna get skipped. Ah, man. And then you also have like a little bit of a mixture song here. Like I think it's 6 or 7 minutes long. Anna. I love this song. Every time it comes on, I'm like, oh my god, I just enjoy it for 7 minutes because you got a little bit of like an acoustic feel intro to the song, but then it gets a little heavy, like it speeds up a little bit, but it's a mid tempo deal. You know, it, you could argue that it has ballad elements to it, but I wouldn't say it's a ballad either. So it's a good mixture of things, and like I said, Joel's voice, he really can get high and clean, and he can get a little rough at times. But he showcases what he can do vocally on this album more so than what he did on Cats and Boots, in my opinion. And it's just absolutely awesome. I can't talk enough about it. And I absolutely love, I know a lot of people don't love this album cover either, but to me, this just screams like total 1992 or like early 90s. And, being born in 1992, like I remember seeing like artwork like this and these colors, like when I was in the mid 90s, when I was like a young kid, so I don't know if that just takes me back to that time, and because they call it the sex monster here, this monster. So I just love it. I think it's a charm to me anyway. I know people don't like this album cover, but I love it. It catches my attention. I like the colors to it. It just screams like total 90s. So I'm cool with it. And I like it. So you got 12 tracks total, and not a bad track. Not a bad track at all. One of my favorite albums of all time, I would say, and just great stuff. I can't talk enough about it and what this album means to me, and also just the greatness of it. It's hard to find. Now, 1992 was an absolutely awesome year. There are decades worth of great albums in 1992. It was just a great year for hair metal, and this is one of them. So, like, I don't want to say like, oh, it's the best of 1992 because that's a real dogfight. That's a real dogfight to see which album is the best in 1992 because I don't know if I could honestly answer that. It'd be really, really tough for me to do that. I had to sit with that for a long time. So that is Heavy Bones with their self-titled, and rest in peace to Frankie. He absolutely kills it on drums on this album as well. So great production though too. Like it keeps its energy and its edge, but it still sounds and produced well. It sounds really, really good. So I can't talk up that album enough. So That is Heavy Bones. All right, now coming, we're gonna go to the last album here, and that is going to be Alice Cooper's Trash. Now, I did a Hell in the Cell with this album and Love's a Loaded Gun with Tim Derlin, and I gotta say, I've picked up this album probably like 2 years ago, maybe now, or a year. It's at least a year, but it's probably like 2 years ago. And I'm glad I waited that long because this album is just okay to me. I don't hate it, but it's just, to me, Love's a Loaded Gun is way better. It does everything. Love's a Loaded Gun does everything better than anything on this album is trying to do. I don't know if there's just way too many like moving parts on this album, like as far as like members and guest musicians and stuff. So like just for a reference, you have like Steven Tyler coming on, you got Bon Jovi coming on, you got Winger coming on for vocals, like backing vocals and stuff too. You got Richie Sambora, Joe Perry, Kane Roberts comes back for a track on guitar. It's just and there's a slew of other guys here that comes on and for additional personnel. But to me, I don't know. I don't know if that. I think that kind of hurts it for me. Like, there's no real. It just sounds like a compilation of songs and of like hits, because like you do have four singles off of here. You got Poison, which everyone knows, which is a good song, but I think is overrated. You also have Bed of Nails, which is a fine song as well. I dig it. House of Fire is fine, but nothing amazing. And then you got the ballad Only My Heart Is Talking, which I can dig that. I like that song. It's fine for what it is. But to me, Love's a Loaded Gun off of Hey Stupid absolutely kills Only My Heart Is Talking. Love's a Loaded Gun is an amazing ballad, one of Alice Cooper's best ballad I think he probably ever did, in my opinion. So, it's I don't visit Alice Cooper that much, but like this is one that I just don't of the stuff that I do have. I have a good amount of his catalog, but this is just one I just don't get to that much. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's just really too polished, overproduced. I don't know. The title track's fine. Hell is Living Without You's fine, but I just I just can't get there with this. Like, this isn't one that I just pull out of my collection. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to blare this son of a bitch. Like, no, that's just not where I'm at with this. I just, I don't know. I don't know if it's just Alice Cooper's voice. Like, I like his voice, but to me, he just seems out of place on this album. It's just way too polished for him or something. Something's off with this. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think of Trash as far as like that goes. Like, is Alice Cooper out of his element on this? Like, is this just trying to go way too mainstream and polished for Alice Cooper? So I don't know, but like I said, I do like Only My Heart Is Talking. I like that. I do like the singles, but like the deep tracks. Where's the deep tracks? I don't. This Maniac's in Love with You. It's on the iPod, but I don't need to hear it now for another year since I listened to it earlier this week. Uh, I don't know. It is what it is. So that is the four albums here. So let us go through a ranking, if you will. Check it out, guys. We have our own Crash Course Metal Show merch. This is the t-shirt here, the unisex shirt. It is 100% ring spun cotton, fits very nicely. Now we also have in the store, we have a zip up hoodie as well. As you can see on the back, it does have the logo, the Crash Course logo. Wear it big, wear it proud. And then we also have your standard hoodie here. So both of these hoodies here are 50% cotton and 50% polyester. So there will be not hardly any shrinkage, if at all. Shout out again to Integral Merch Services. And if you guys can pick up any merch, I would greatly appreciate it. And that helps the channel out so much. And like always, guys, stay out of that collateral damage. My number 4 is going to be Alice Cooper. That was kind of the easy one out of this group, certainly. One that I just, like I said, I just don't get to that much. I'm lucky to get to it once a year, if that. If that. It might even be longer the next time I listen to it. So coming in at number 4, that is going to be Trash. Now coming in here at number 3, it's not that it's bad at all because it is a good album, and that's going to be Extreme's debut. But certainly, I would go to Extreme 2 more more times than this. But whenever I do listen to it, I am like, you can certainly see the potential here from Extreme of what they're going to be doing and how they will grow and mature. You get because Nuno's still Nuno on this. Like, it's not, oh, this is the debut album. Like, he's still trying to learn things. No, he's a, a guitar hero right here, right from the start. So I think, to me though, like I said, it is a little bit more of the run of the mill type deal, hair metal feel stuff. But Nuno's playing is great and still worth listening to, even on these tracks. Which, like I said, these tracks are still strong. I think any like unsigned band or a band that just did not get any notoriety would love to have an album like this. But to me, it's just one I don't get to that much actually, because like I said, I don't visit Extreme as much as some other bands that I have here in the collection. And when I do, it's like usually number two, Porno Graffiti. But I gotta say though, like there's songs on here that I dig, and that's just it. Just has to go at number three when I put it up next to these next two albums. So coming in here at number two, I gotta go. I gotta go Vane with All Those Strangers. I am super impressed with this. Like this last year that I had this, I am super impressed. It gets better, man. Like you know how usually when you first get something like the first couple months, you're like, oh yeah, I like this album, I like it. But the staying power kind of falls off a little bit. To me, I don't have that with this. This album is staying strong throughout this first year. It- like I said, The Planet's Turning is an amazing song. Love Drug is an amazing song. Here Comes Lonely is an amazing song. I think there is some great stuff that, like I said, it holds up to No Respect. And as much as a cult classic as No Respect is, and I am right there with everyone. That is an amazing album. But this is right there with it that a lot of people don't talk about, and that's a shame because this is underrated. Now, it was obviously not released, so you have to go through like Davey Vane to get it, like on his website and stuff. But it's just you have to listen to it if you like Vane. You just have to listen to it, and that goes in here at number two. And coming in at number one, it is going to be Heavy Bones. What can I mean, I explain. I'm not gonna explain everything over again, but it's an amazing album. It just is. I just love this album ever since I bought it, and even since I first heard a couple songs off of it when I was a teenager. I was like, I have to get this somehow, some way, and I'm just glad that I was able to find a reissue at least. And I just when I play it, man, it stays on the whole time, and I love it. I revisit this multiple times a year, even multiple times, maybe even a month, depending on the situation. So I think Joel Ellis shines on this album. He, man, yeah, certainly more in my opinion. Like if I want to hear Joel Ellis sing, I put this album on more so than Kicked and Clawed and Cats and Boots. So take that for what you will. Love the guitar playing, love the guitar tone on this. Frankie's drumming is amazing. So I can't talk bad really about Heavy Bones. Just it's an amazing album. So that is going in here at number one. So let me know in the comments, guys, what your ranking is 1 through 4 of these 4 albums. This was certainly a fun one, but not necessarily an easy one because the 1-2 was kind of tough for different reasons, but they're certainly fun. I'm interested to see where you guys put the Extreme and Alice Cooper. I'm very interested in that when you compare it to the rest of them here. So, guys, until next time, stay out of that collateral damage. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys enjoyed this 4 squared, check out this one right here.
Yeah, I wrote that. It's called I Want to Rock Your Body. And then in parentheses it says to the break of dawn.